Next one I wanted to watch was this. I like Sawman's videos. It's like it's going with the theme of the stream. It's the world is ending. Everything's going wrong. TikTok's becoming YouTube, which I think is like, yeah, you know, and YouTube's becoming TikTok, and that's the end of the world. Asteroids coming. This is the worst year for gaming, apparently. 2023, out of all years for gaming, this one's the worst. And I'm curious to see why he says that. What I'm willing to bet he's going to mention is no game you play doesn't have some form of always online. No game you play doesn't have some form of cash shop that lets you spend money with them. And everything has been corporatized to absolute shit. To the point that there's not a single game that's probably released in the last 5 years, and particularly this year, that hasn't been a buggy mess that needed to be patched into a playable state. But let's see what he says. I'm assuming now.
It is with a very saddened heart that I have to announce that gaming in 2023 is dying.
Oh, fuck. What do you mean dying? I thought it was dead. Gaming died in the 80s. Right after the release of Doom, it was just all downhill from there.
Is gaming dying? Why are open world games shit? Why are all MMOs bad?
Fucking
Why
hell.
is FPS games so shit? It's like, dude, no, that's just all you're doing is pandering to these people who just want to hate on gaming, bro. The fact is, there's a lot of shit games that are coming out, and there's also an amount of good games that are coming out.
Did you notice that he was like, there's a lot of shit games, and then he didn't say there's a lot of good games. He said there's an amount of good games. That's like somewhere in this pile of shit is a birthday cake. If you dig through the pile of shit, you might find the birthday cake. You might blast right past it, out the other side of the mountain. But somewhere in here, I promise there's a birthday cake.
He's out of line, but he's right.
2023 has been a roller coaster of a year when it's come to gaming. We've had great games.
Yeah, it kind of has.
We've had truly awful games.
Oh,
No
red
way
fail.
she gets around this forklift.
You see, art imitates life. She looks almost exactly like one of the NPC TikTokers. It's not bad AI. It's realistic AI. It's realistic, 100% accurate to reality. She's waiting for the ice cream sticker so she can go yum yum ice cream.
Never see the sun again.
And then there was Gollum.
Fuck.
At the start of the year, I decided to mix up a bit on my YouTube channel. I no longer wanted to focus on one dead game. I wanted to try variety. This meant
Big mistake. Big mistake. It's a big mistake, Sawman. Don't do this. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to your channel. Yeah, your channel's going great. Why are you doing this to yourself? Please. Please, I'm begging you. I'm gonna go have to find your friend Steady Eddie. I'm gonna have to find other British people, and we're gonna have to stage an intervention. Do you know how terrible this is? Don't make the same mistake that I did. Don't do it. It's not worth your time. No, I'm joking. I get it. You can't play the same game forever and expect to continually make amusing content, because eventually, even if you do creative content like all the time like he does, eventually playing with one pile of shit gets old, and you need to move on to another pile of shit.
meant, like any other clout chasing YouTuber, as soon as I got wind of a new game coming out, I was hot on it. I was playing it, and I was usually disappointed by it.
Yep.
And because of this disappointment, I started playing games which I played like 5.
I just gotta say, The Witcher 3 is an absolute fucking banger. Oh my god. I'm still mad about 2 games. Okay, the first is Thief, and no one cares about Thief except me. And the second is The Witcher. This was way back when I was in a relationship with my ex, and I had gotten a PlayStation. And because I was young and stupid, I set my PlayStation up at her house. because I spent most of my time there anyway. So I was playing The Witcher at her house. That bitch never gave me my PlayStation back. I lost that fucking PlayStation. I'm so mad about that because I went and I bought it on Steam and I played The Witcher and I played it through and I got to the end and I'm like, wow, I'm fucking mad that I could have had this experience 2 years earlier, but that bitch never gave my goddamn console back.
5 or 6 years ago to see if they are still worth playing in 2023. And to my surprise, a lot of them were. A lot of them were actually better than some of the newer games that have been released this year. And that's why I'm making this video, because I want to discuss, is gaming in 2023 actually that bad? Or are we, as the consumers, just expecting too much? Now,
No, we're not expecting too much. The problem is, we've seen some real fucking masterpieces over the years. And if you take all the masterpiece games made since the 90s, and you play them in a single year, all the masterpieces, you go back and you play Dark Messiah, you play the original Thief games, you play Doom, you play even the new Doom, you go and play the Mass Effect series, but I suggest you brave the seas to get all the DLC, because, you know, EA is still a bunch of rat shits. But if you play all the masterpieces, condense that into a year, and then try and play one of the games that have come out this year, Forspoken, for example, you're going to be like, holy shit, gaming in 2023 is dead. Every now and then, a banger will come out. It will. There will be a banger that comes out. But there will be like maybe 1 or 2 absolute god tier games that come out maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. But beyond that, nah, most of it's going to be trash.
let's make it a little bit more interesting and put it to a vote. If you think gaming in 2023 is actually shocking, leave a like. If you disagree and you think gaming in 2023 is pretty much the same as every other year, feel free to dislike. Don't worry, I won't take it personally. But you can always change your mind.
I'm not going to dislike, but I do think that Elden Ring is just, I mean, not Elden, fuck, now I've got Elden Ring on my mind. I do think that 2023 is just a continuation of what we saw in prior years, right? And the unfortunate part about the human attention span is we give more weight and impact to everything that's negative rather than everything that's positive. A good example of this is how many people today are currently talking about Hades, right? Hades, made by Supergiant Games, was an amazing game, but no one's talking about it because but if you say the word New World, you don't even have to say anything bad. You can just say the word New World and people will be like, oh shit, fuck, I remember there were all those bugs and the game was falling apart at the seams and Amazon doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and Amazon unreleased 2 games before they'll go on forever because the human attention span remembers negatives more than it does positives. That's just how we are. That's why if you make a video and you title it something like 2023 is the worst year for gaming, you're likely going to get more people who watch that video than saying 2023 is just like every other year in gaming. Let's see, I've never played them. Okay. Save the short from somebody being amazed by the wondrous visuals of Elden Ring, I'm assuming. Oh, I love the Souls games, dude. I fucking love them. They're amazing. I've loved them since the original Dark Souls release. Tarantino said the same thing about cinema. It's important to give your audience something to show up and pay for. Yeah, no, definitely.
Later on down the line. And with that, let's jump into it. When I'm looking for an answer to a question, there's only one resource which is worth looking at, and that is, of course, Discord.
Oof. Discord. Oof. That's like searching for information among the pedophiles.
So I kicked it off in classic Discord style by atting everyone, which meant someone probably left Discord.
Yep. There is someone, when he did that there's someone who's got their phone, forgot to turn off notifications, and the second that hit, it was 2 a.m, he just woke up and went, leave. Because they couldn't figure out notifications.
And I asked, I'm going to do a video
Might be
on
both,
why
Joey.
gaming seems so shit in 2023. What's everyone's hot takes? I rarely get games new because $70 seems way too much. It's safe to say that the economy around gaming has definitely changed in the last 5 years. Before, you could pick up a game for about $40, $50, and now for some reason it's acceptable to charge $70 plus. So noticeable is
Yeah, that's inflation. That's movement of prices over time. I would say in the wider economy, it's kind of unsurprising that they're pushing $70. But your average consumer who's looking at, you know, a carton of eggs for their child's soul, they're probably like, how the fuck are you charging me $70 for this video game that you haven't completed, that's buggy as fuck, and now you want me to pay $70 for this piece of shit? Look, he's even put Diablo in here because he knows. But no, it's let me think about this. So I would still say, out of all forms of entertainment, even at the price of $70, you are getting more hour of entertainment per dollar spent than any other medium out there. If you spend $70 on a good game, and I'm being biased here, on a good game, and you put like 50 hours of your time into it, right? That's pretty good return on investment. That's pretty good return on entertainment value. By comparison, you go to a movie. I'm not sure what a movie costs today. Probably around $50. You pay like $40, $50, go to a movie, and you're entertained for what, 1 or 2 hours? And I think it's a good analogy to make because most movies, just like most video games that are released, are also shit.
Is this fact that news agencies have started to pick
I'm
up
in the
on
same
it.
boat as you, Joe.
And I'm talking regular copies of games, not limited edition. I mean, if you want to buy Starfield for £250 and get a watch and
$300. And I bet money, I would bet money on this, that the game case for Starfield, when it arrives, if you open it up, there's a piece of paper with a code in it and not a CD. I would bet money on that.
and Todd Howard's Come, you fucking go for it. You live your life.
Welcome to the Cum Zone.
I mean, Redfall came out and it was $70. All free on Game Pass.
Fuck
like,
me.
do the maths on that one. The simple equation
Now, I didn't know the price of Redfall because I just heard Redfall was shit. Now I understand why people are so fucking mad at Redfall.
is, if you spend more, you expect more. You shouldn't
Exactly,
complete a
yes.
game in 12 hours after spending $70. Don't get me wrong, there's more expensive stuff you can pay for by the hour, but when it comes to gaming, the price
Dude, is this... I don't know the streamer. TwitchCon. Okay, so I don't recognize any of these names. But I suppose what he's trying to get at is you can spend $70 to see some woman's boobs for like 5 minutes a day.
comes to gaming, the price should
I just gotta say, this is fucking wild. It's wild to me that OnlyFans exists and that people will go on that site and pay like $50 just to see some woman naked when you can Google big boob and get like 20 million results.
be in line with the enjoyment, right? The price of living has gone up, so naturally the price of games will also go up. That's kind of unavoidable. However, it's always seemed like there's been some unwritten rule that games do not go over £50 unless thou for out a special edition copy. And lately, that agreement has just been shat all over. The
Yes,
funny
it
thing
has.
is, to date, the most expensive game I ever bought was Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. It was £60, and the reason for
Okay, god damn. Okay, so Conker's Bad Fur Day. Decent game. I don't know why you paid £60 for it though. £60, that's like what? 75 American freedom units? For a game that old, that long ago, that's a lot of money. God damn.
that was because it was on a cartridge, and it literally cost them like 40 quid to put it on a cartridge. So I don't feel too bad about it. But now, in this day and age, you don't even get a
I'd feel
CD
bad
when you
about that.
buy a copy from the store. They literally give you a digital download code. Maybe this is the future of
Oh, I saw it coming. I fucking saw it coming. Yeah, at least when he bought Conker's Bad Fur Day, he got it on a cartridge. It was in his hand, and he could have plugged it in at any time and had the game ready. But these new fucking modern games, it's all digitized, right? And it's so fucking, like, people don't understand this because they're like, oh, it's so much better. No, it's not. Because if it's on a disc, it means that I can put it in at any point in time and play the game. The second that game is off the servers, off the Steam marketplace, off any of that shit, you're fucked. You paid $60, $70, and you're fucked. Because you can't get it anywhere else. Which, by the way, justifies piracy. Don't you guys have porn? Yeah, no, I don't know why people are paying for that when Pornhub's free. Like, if you're gonna go jerk off and waste your life being a Kuma, at least don't waste your money while doing that.
gaming, or maybe it's just them cutting costs. Who knows? Gaming companies release the games when they aren't finished. It seems to be a trend over the last few years. And I think this
It's not a trend, it's a standard.
is a really, really good point. I mean, just take a look at the performance of a lot of the games that have been released this year. My so-called gaming PC with 32GB of RAM and a 3070 wasn't good enough to run Hogwarts Legacy. And yet, somehow, in this whole entire shit
I'm running a 4090. And a Hogwarts Legacy would crash at random points in time on a 4090. And get this, because someone basically a PC build company in my country donated this to me after one of my videos was seen on Asmongold's channel. I basically took my old streaming PC and I like made it into like a dual PC setup. So all of the workload, all of the recording, all of that stuff is done by my old a single streaming PC that I used to use. And the new PC that was given to me was only running the game, and it still crashed.
show, they were going to release this game on the Nintendo Switch at some point. Like, how?
No.
How does that even work? I had similar issues with The Last of Us and even the
They've patched it a fair bit since, but point still stands. Yeah, or no, what if they could patch it, why didn't they patch it beforehand? That's the real question, right? They should have, that shit should have been patched before the game was even released.
Diablo 4 beta. There have been more apologies from game studios because of shit releases than there have been contenders for Game of the Year.
Wait, let's see, what do we got here? Cyberpunk, Bethesda, Jedi Survivor, Foreskin, and Gollum. And then Battlefield. Oh, you can't forget the Battlefield apology. God damn.
Like, what is going on? Is this like some new 2023 TikTok trend? You release a shit game and then you apologize? I mean, I don't remember this happening in previous years, and if it did, it wasn't to this extent. Corporate greed, over monetization, and most importantly, releasing products in
I don't think was the Cyberpunk apology this year. I think he's making a more generalized point about video games releasing in an unfinished or shitty state that's completely unacceptable for a consumer. And this has become a trend, and I know that happened with the Gollum game this year. I know that happened with a bunch of other games, and it's almost like it's becoming industry standard to release a piece of shit and then just post an apology and be like, okay, there we go, we fixed it.
Corporate greed, over monetization, and most importantly, releasing products in unfinished or buggy states with plans to fix it in a later patch. Well then, I think that's everything covered off. Let's end the video there. The thing is though, as negative as certain games have been this year, there's been a lot of positives. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom just goes to show that there are people.
I don't play games. I don't play Legend of Twink, but I know it's an exceptionally good game, and people have just fucking loved it. So like, good, glad. I'm glad that this game exists, even though I don't have a personal interest in playing it.
People who do indeed own a Switch. Trust me, I'm just as shocked by this news as you are. Between January and May 2023, this was the top 10 sold titles, and I can only imagine what it looks like now. And I'm sure if we fast forward to September...
Oh god. You know what Diablo is proof of? Diablo is proof that Blizzard is fully capable of making a good game, but give them about a month and they will fuck it up for everyone. God damn. A logical take opinion in the gaming world in 23. I know, Ilgi, it's wild, right? He didn't just fucking take a side and randomly shit out things that made his point sound good, and then ignored all the points that made, that opposed his opinion. How terrible. Fuck me. Some groundbreaking stuff.
This will once again change. So if people are buying games, then that means 2023 isn't that bad. Now, I think it's safe to presume that Diablo 4, Starfield, and Hogwarts Legacy, and Zelda will probably be nominated for Game.
Oh, okay, that's a... Diablo 4, maybe not. Or actually, no, they'll probably bribe someone to make sure that they're in the Game of the Year list. Starfield hasn't released yet, and this is the Todd Howard masterpiece game that's going to be a reskin of all the Fallout games, so it might be good and it might be bad. Hogwarts Legacy, I can imagine it being nominated for Game of the Year, even though it didn't do anything particularly spectacular, unique, or amazing. It was, honestly, it was just a stock standard game. Like, I thought that Hogwarts Legacy, honestly, this is what I wanted from Hogwarts Legacy, is I wanted GTA 5, but with wizards and shit. But what I got was just an okay wizard story. Right, it's not anything out there, but it'll probably be nominated. I think out of all of these things, probably Tears of the Kingdom should at least be the winner of Game of the Year if you had to pick one. It might be a bit early for Starfield. I think it's very early for Starfield, but Starfield might be good. I say that very cautiously, and I say that knowing that Todd Howard is a fucking liar. A fucking marketing lying piece of shit, and he's been that way for years, and he's never changing. For all we know, it'll be Cyberpunk 2.0, maybe. I hope so. From Twitter, the feeling I'm guessing is Zelda. It's probably Zelda. Hogwarts was a really good Harry Potter experience, but not Game of the Year. I wouldn't even say it was a good Harry Potter experience. I would say it was just a clone of all the Harry Potter games video games that were like a copy of the movies that were a copy of the book, right? I wouldn't even say it's that unique of a story. This is honestly what I wanted. This is the experience I was expecting based on the way Hogwarts Legacy was marketed. I wanted to be the school's fucking potion drug dealer, going around getting kids hooked on wizard crack, so that I could manipulate them using an RPG system because they're too fucking high to know the difference between me bullshitting them and reality, because they're too high on the wizard crack that I cooked up in the fucking third-year bathroom behind the, I don't know, Myrtle, the one fucking ghost bitch that was trying to slam down on Harry in the movies. Right? That's what I wanted. I wanted GTA Wizard School, but that's not the experience I got. It's okay. It's like a 6 out of 10 game.
For Game of the Year. But how do these match up to last year's Game of the Year nominations? That also popular cat game Stray sold 2.5.
There you go. Okay, there you go. There's the perfect example of a game I had zero interest in playing. Not the game about pussy. The it's the music. God of War. The new God of War games. I have zero interest in them because I loved the story of all the old God of War games, and I saw Kratos and it's got great visuals and great story and music and all of that, but I just had zero interest in carrying on Kratos' story. For him, it ended at the last old school God of War game. That's where the story ended for me.
Million copies. As of February 2023, God of War Ragnarok had sold 11 million copies. And then we have Elden Ring, which up until February 2023 had sold 20 million copies. Now, Hogwarts Legacy has sold 15 million units, but it's a hard one to gauge in popularity simply because all the political stuff behind it.
You know what the best part about all the political stuff was, right? The whole thing with the whole transgenders and stuff, that was all bullshit, right? It was all fucking horseshit surrounding people who wanted to feel virtuous by saying the Harry Potter game bad because I don't know, something about fucking J.K. Rowling hating transgenders or something. And every time you like tried to interact with these people, I was trying to genuinely ask a question where I was like, can you show to me actively that she is, one, getting paid directly from the sales of this game, which she wasn't, and can you show me that, two, she is actively going out and funding organizations that are trying to get trans people eliminated or killed or whatever else, and they could do neither, and every single time I asked this question, without fail, anyone on Twitter blocked me. I want Ghost of Tsushima too. Oh, dude. That game is actually still on my playlist. That game I really want to play. Ghost of Sushi seems real cool.
Well, if we take Diablo as our lead game for this year, it's only sold about 5 million copies and it's on multiple platforms. So are sales down, or is it just simply too early to tell?
Hey,
I mean, hell.
There it is. We were talking about it earlier. Bear 6. Bear 6 in Baldur's Gate. Game of the year. There it is.
Baldur's Gate 3 hasn't even released yet, and you can have sex with a bear. I mean, who's not buying that game? Am I right?
God damn.
Personally speaking, I think there's been a couple of hidden gems this year which just haven't got the attention that they deserve.
Elden Ring's not a hidden gem. It got a fuck ton of attention. It got an absolute shitload of attention.
Starship Troopers Extermination was released in early access, and although it's not the complete game, I had a
This one I do want to play.
great time playing it. It was truly a unique gaming experience. BattleBit Remastered is another one. This
is another one. I was actually talking to you, Ilgi, in Discord about this one. Like, is this game good? Because I keep on seeing it popping up.
title was developed by 3 people, and yet it's better than a lot of FPSs which are currently out there on the market. It feels like there's too much concentration on fancy graphics or some sort of niche to your title.
Absolutely.
When realistically, people just want good performance and good gameplay.
Here's a trick to that, right? If you try and make a game with high graphical fidelity, but it's got zero art style behind it, your game is dead in 2 years. If you make a game that has an art theme or art style, but doesn't rely on graphical fidelity nearly as much, your game will last way longer. It's one of the reasons World of Warcraft lasted so long, is because it had its own like cartoony, stylized look to it, and that meant that the graphics aged way better. They still got outdated, but they aged way fucking better than they would have otherwise. Yeah, there you go. Aesthetics over graphics. Every single time. 10 out of 10 times, aesthetics will always beat graphics.
And then we have Zelda. It has the most basic graphics going, but once again, the focus is gameplay. I think it speaks volumes when these smaller game studios are making bigger ripples than these AAA ones. And don't get me wrong, the big boys still know how to produce a good title. I mean, Diablo 4 is definitely a popular game at this point in time. But
Diablo 4 is popular for now. But after the latest patch, it's gonna start dying off because Blizzard doesn't give a fuck about how much you like the game. Blizzard gives a fuck about how much they can milk out of those little gamer nipples of yours. They wanna milk you dry and then leave you there. And they're not even gonna ask you if you enjoyed it. They're just gonna leave with the milk. That's all they care about.
you could argue the price puts a lot of people off. It can get repetitive, and ARPGs just aren't for everyone. I don't think we'll truly have an answer as to how good 2023 was until Starfield releases, and those reviews will pretty much determine if 2023 was a good year for gaming.
Ooh, I don't know. I think Starfield could still be a banger, but it'll be like the same as Elden Ring, where what's going to happen is people will play it for the first 2 months, and then when people are done with the story or completed what they wanted to do in the game, there'll be that massive population drop-off, and everyone's going to say, the game was shit, that's why this drop-off's happening, when the reality is single-player games that are story-bound and story-driven always have a rise, a peak, and then a fall-off after a few months. The same that Elden Ring had, and Elden Ring is still a fucking amazing game. That's just how it is. Right? So I think people will see the drop off and then they'll be like, yeah, people are leaving because it's shit, even if it is good. Right? And that's working under the assumption that Starfield is going to be good. When the reality is, the most likely reality for Starfield is that it's going to be a reskin of Fallout. It's space Fallout.
Because if Starfield hits the mark, no one is even going to care about the other games. But if it misses the mark,
for 2 months.
Well, expect more videos saying 2023 was a shit year. But anyway, that's my little rant over. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And obviously, don't forget to vote. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.
That was a good video. I think he's mostly right. I think there's like very minor points I would disagree with him on. But at the same time, I think you could have made this, like he could have made this video in 2024 or 2022 and said the exact same points and just changed out the games he was talking about, right? The reality is that what Quinn here in his video said in the very beginning, where he said that there's a large pile of shit out there, and every now and then we get a good game. Where he said there are a lot of shit games, and then there are good games that come out. Like, and he was trying to not say there's like one or two. That's the reality of the scenario, and that's going to continue to be the reality of the scenario until people stop buying trashy, shitty games. And guess what? People have been buying FIFA games since before I was fucking born. Actually, no, I don't know if that's true. Let me Google that. When was the first FIFA game? I can say this because I've bought in my life one FIFA game, and then I watched my one friend buy each and every single FIFA game, and I went back and I played, God, it must have been like FIFA 2001, and I played it, and I was like, it's 2011, and it's the same fucking game. Oh, God. Oh, what a good video. But also, I don't think 2023 is the worst year for gaming. I think it's just a shitty year in a continuum of shitty years where the large majority of games released are shitty.